That's a nightgown, isn't it? Same buttery Ritz taste, less salt. Sounds like a deal.
Scoopathon.
And she was also a roofer. That is a keeper. Drop of oil in the ear. 1971. So there it is. I just cannot believe it. Little tiny wasp nest. And now I'm out of breath. Bluetooth gas tank. This is like the easiest car of all time.
Jinxed it.
This is not good. I'd be eating a cheeseburger right now. Just sit down and relax. Okay, so our first test drive was pretty ambitious. We kind of risked a little bit, going a little further than normal, but it made it back home, and now we're gonna clean this thing up. Before we vacuum, we gotta clean out all this stuff, which is kind of fun, because we don't know what we're gonna find. We've already determined this was grandma's car.
Yes.
Her name was Stella.
Yes.
So even though this isn't our car, we're gonna go ahead and name it Stella.
Yes.
I guess we're gonna go through Stella's stuff, because definitely this isn't Kyle's stuff for sure.
Yeah, I don't think
Kyle is hauling around fruit.
Yeah, I don't think he is here.
Some of this stuff was up front and I just tossed it in the back because we need the room to drive it. This was one of those items. Try not to get too much dust going here. But this old coat.
Oh.
I'm imagining this as Stella's coat. Kind of hate to just throw this away. Kind of like that army jacket in the other Nova. I don't think we can throw this away. I think we gotta do, I don't know what, but we need to just hang on to it. I won't put it on your bicycle.
Really?
Not that. Fabric. No, it's a shirt. It's a shirt.
It's a shirt.
Okay. I don't mind throwing that one away.
What?
No, that's a nightgown, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I can tell from here.
Yeah.
Did she sleep in her car?
Doubt it. Highly doubt it.
But I mean.
But for some reason had a nightgown in. I don't mind throwing that one away. So one thing I've noticed. Oh, the baby. One thing I've noticed is she had a collection of these scoops.
Yes. Oh,
These are for laundry detergent, and I mean they probably come in handy, but not sure why she has 100 of them. Here's another whole bag of them.
Another one?
Yep. There's a rug and a coat hanger, piece of a coat hanger.
Looks like she might have left the keys in her car.
Yes. That is exactly what that was used for. You take one of these hooks right here, fish it through the window, plunk, unlock it. We're probably gonna keep that because we could tie up the exhaust or something. I don't know. It's handy. Oh, and she was also a roofer. She's got a lot of shingles back here. Okay. I'm having a hard time understanding the shingles situation. Right, there we go.
I think she lived in her car.
Huh?
I think she lived in her car.
I don't think she lived in her car. Let's not make that assumption.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, thinking about, what if one day someone's looking through my car, and what are they going to find in it?
And they're talking about you?
Yes.
Yeah. Saying that she must have lived in the car.
That or she had a lot of children. That's what mine would be.
Yes. Like that baby.
All right. More scoops.
And
there's the fruit. You got pineapple.
Apples. Oranges. This is a peach.
That's a peach. These are strawberries, but they're not squishy.
Oh man. They're
To be
cool.
clear.
They're cool strawberries.
I wanted that to be clear to everyone watching. Floor mat. Oh, look at that. Sears. Rough and ready. We might hang on to that. We could probably
You can use that.
use it. We looked through this stuff earlier. This is where the squishy grapes came from.
More scoops.
Scoops.
I'll hand those to Mama.
Scoops.
Oh my word.
Scoops.
Yes. Scoopathon.
We got some Weather Beater Ultra Super Bond Formula Satin Exterior Acrylic Latex Paint.
Okay.
We've got some anti-rust enamel in green, of course. And some more Weather Beater floor and deck enamel. Vintage, of course. Low salt Ritz crackers, same buttery Ritz taste, less salt. She had these rugs These are vintage, obviously. And this towel up in the package tray area. And look at that. Look at how perfect that is. Perfectly preserved. Thank you, Stella. Paper bag, I don't know what's in there. Nothing, just a paper bag. It's dated, by the way. December 3rd, 1982. I didn't even know paper bags were dated, but apparently they were. Super handy for documenting this car. Trying to figure out what all the rags are about. There's more over here.
More rags.
Maybe she cleaned houses.
Maybe. This one has some kind of writing on it. What? Look at this. Look at this. GM. General Motors, like the place that built this car. Wax treated polishing cloth for car and home. General Motors Corporation. So this probably came with the car when it was new. That is a keeper.
She waxed her car.
Can't throw that away. I'm gonna put it right in here with the other things. All right, I pulled the mats out of this thing. I need to pop that little doodad back on there. Come on. That dime was left behind, so let's take a look together. Focus. 1971. That's awesome. I love digging through these old cars and just finding these little treasures. That's just a 10-cent treasure, but it's pretty cool to me. See, this paper makes me curious. Surely the build sheet is not just like wadded up, and it is. That's the build sheet. That is the build sheet for this car. It was just tucked up under the seat right there. This car is just too easy. Look at this. The build sheet, and it's perfect. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there you go. Brown Chevrolet Company, Market Street, Dayton, Tennessee. I just cannot believe it. So here we go. Here's our options. A52 bench seat, 273 rear end ratio, 307 standard V8, 3-speed automatic, wheel trim covers, E78 14 white wall tires, black carpets, interior black, exterior green and gold. So there it is, the build sheet for this car. Just hanging out. I didn't even have to take the seat out of this thing. I mean, it's just amazing. This car is amazing. Starting to clean the inside. You know, all this stuff is in good shape, but it's just a little dirty. But look at that. Little tiny wasp nest. Little, just very small. Let's go ahead and get it out of there. I'm just using Windex in here. I'll probably come back over all of this, especially the rubber or vinyl parts, and go back over them with a protectant, Armor All or something like that. It makes it shiny, but it also helps soften the rubber up so that it'll last longer. But so far, looking pretty good with just a little bit of Windex. Green paint's looking good in there. It's giving me hope for the green paint that's on the outside. I'd love to be able to shine it up just a little.
Gonna buff it or anything?
We might. It just depends on how well it cleans up when we wash it. If it washes up good and it shows that it's got a little bit of the potential. Run a buffer over it, wax it. These steering wheels from the 70s and 80s, they have a tendency to get sticky. This one's got definite stickiness. So supposedly, I've tried it before, never had real good luck. But I'm feeling lucky today because this car's been so good to me. But hand cleaner, like real powerful hand cleaner, is supposed to have enough grit to take away some of that stickiness. Seems to be working pretty good. It might get sticky again after it gets hot or whatever, but I'm pretty happy with that. Way better than it was, and it shined it up pretty nice too. I mean, it's just like a brand new car, and all we had to do was clean it. Look at that wood grain. Carly did a good job cleaning up these mats. I'm gonna stick them back in here real quick. So these probably came from the dealer, if I'm guessing. Maybe they might have come from the factory like this, but I'm guessing this was a dealer added little option here. Get it centered up. And they're kind of like a clear, sort of a yellowy clear finish. Very 70s. Here's a view of the front. Again, door panels are just perfect. Our little trick on the steering wheel seems to have worked a little bit. It's still a little sticky, but we might do a couple more rounds of cleaning. This is the only flaw in the whole interior. If we sit down, take a look at that dash. Perfection. All this stuff's plastic too, but somehow it survived.
You said about rust, right?
Hmm.
Rust.
Yeah, I mean, this is not really rust. This is just water staining, and we need to figure out where that water's coming from. It's probably coming from this rubber, but we just need to find exactly where it is. So probably what we'll do is we'll put you in here. I'll close the trunk, and then I'll run water, and you'll tell me where it's coming from. How's that?
Okay. Okay.
Sounds like a deal.
There it goes.
All right, we got the inside done. It's time to get this outside cleaned up. Just gonna give it a quick wash job first, and then we'll go back and do some details like getting the windows clean, the chrome, and we might eventually buff on this thing. Not making any promises, but first step is cleaning it up. So after our wash job, you can see a little bit more of what we're working with here. You can see that the front fenders, the paint was pretty thin on those. It's got a little bit of surface rust coming back through. Not a whole lot we can do with that as far as making it shiny, but the rest of this, you can see a little bit of oxidation here, but it should clean up pretty good. I've actually already wiped a little spot right here. You can see a big difference from here to there. And shouldn't take a tremendous amount of effort to make this look good too. I had some of this McGuire's compound. It's just kind of a light compound. That's what I'm using. Doesn't take a whole lot. And I might go back over it with this hard shell wax just to protect everything from the elements, but watch how quickly this goes away. I mean, this is oxidized for lots of years, and if you wet your finger or you wet it at all, it kind of goes away for a minute, but then it just hazes right back up. This compound should cut into it and eliminate the haze or corrosion, oxidation, whatever you want to call it. And I'm only going to compound the areas with that oxidation. Everything else will just get waxed. Now, normally I would take a buffer and do this so that I wouldn't be so tired, but just figured I'd show you guys you could do it by hand. Just a few minutes. I spent probably 10 minutes on this, and now I'm out of breath. But it sure does look good. Look at that. Not bad. Not bad at all for 50-year-old paint. I got smart on this side. This side's a little rougher than the other. I just hand polished the other side. This side has a lot more oxidation and rust. So, using the buffer, still using the same compound. And I'll show you how quickly this thing changes its appearance. Now, this will probably turn back if we don't wax it immediately, because this old paint is just thin and it's easily affected by the weather. So let's see. And then I take this rag, which is already kind of saturated with compound, and I kind of feather it in where eventually we're not going to buff up here. So we're going to kind of let it naturally get from shiny to back to dull. And doing this just by hand up here will get it to turn a little bit, but not drastically. Not nearly as drastic as down here where we're actually getting some pretty good gloss. Now we just got to finish that quarter panel and give it all a good wiping down and it'll be good. Look at how solid this thing is under here. I can't believe the gas tank rotted out. But all this is really nice and solid, and none of this got undercoated back in the day. Even though I can see some undercoating in some of the body panels, this never got undercoated, so I don't know how it survived all these years. But I've got some of this undercoating. I'm gonna spray under here before I put that gas tank in there, just to keep this thing solid for a lot more years. So I got impatient. I couldn't wait on a new gas tank to get here, so I did the right thing and dropped the gas tank out of my Nova, which I'm gonna be replacing soon, whenever the new gas tank arrives. Not sure when that'll be. So the thing runs pretty good with that Bluetooth gas tank. It's new technology. Runs smooth. I think it runs better without the gas tank than it did with it in there. All right, we're gonna change the oil on this thing. Even though the oil smells good and looks good, it's been in there for 30-something years, so we're gonna change it. It's definitely tight, but it's coming loose. I can't believe it. And there's an Atlas oil filter. Remember all the other Atlas parts on this thing?
Yeah.
This is like the easiest car of all time. And I don't think I can even jinx it at this point. We're done with the hard stuff. I hope. Okay, that's pretty tight. It's real tight.
Jinxed it.
I think I jinxed it.
Yep. You shouldn't have said it.
Not a good idea to swing a hammer towards your face, but I'm also not very smart. Drop of oil in the ear.
That's disgusting.
Yep, it is. Vice grips. This is almost last resort. This is not good. Okay, so defeat. For the first time on this car, this thing has given me an issue. The oil drain plug was already rounded off a little bit, and I just finished it off basically. So probably what we'll have to do is take this thing over to Kyle's and have him weld something onto that plug so that then we can get a real good bite on it, because it's really tight. There's no doubt about that. You want to put this Wix on there. That's the best thing you can possibly get, Wix oil filter. I'm going to put some oil in it, 20W50. So I've been chipping away at this thing. I had a little back injury that slowed down progress, but we're back in action trying to get the last few things done on this, which it doesn't need much. On our test drive, we noticed that the brakes were a little iffy. Like one time you'd push and it would go way far down, and sometimes you push and the pedal would move that much. So I'm replacing the wheel cylinders and the brake hoses.
Does that mean I have to do the brake pumping thing?
Yes, we have to bleed the brakes. I didn't want to buy a master cylinder if this one was good, because that's a more expensive item than the wheel cylinders. So we're gonna hopefully keep that. I put a new belt on here. I replaced the radiator hoses. I replaced the heater hoses. And so far, that's about it for today. But right now, we're going to tackle these brakes. Let's see if this comes off easily. It spins very easily, not a whole lot of drag, so it should slide right off. They make special tools for getting these springs off, because they are stiff. But these Knipix channel locks, these things are really good. Like, they grip on there really, really good. And pretty much as long as you got a good bite on it, just pull it loose, pull it loose, pull it loose. This little guy comes off of there, and we can start taking this wheel cylinder off. It's got this rubber hose right here, which this is very cheap. These are just a few bucks a piece. Not a huge headache to change. Definitely something you want to change on any car that's been sitting for more than 5 years, really. You want to change that. We can wiggle this thing. Okay, there you go. All right, I've been working under this thing, but I forgot to put a jack stand. That ought to do it right there. Safety first when you're working under a car, even though right here, I think you could escape pretty easily. It's a good idea to have a jack stand under there, especially on a incline if you're working in the grass or dirt. Definitely got to have something under there to protect you. I don't know if that's a bird's nest. Something made a nest for sure. I don't think that just happens naturally. Here's our new wheel cylinder. Got these from Rock Auto, a few bucks a piece. Comes with the bleeder screw. It does not come with new bolts. It does not come with the new little nubbies. And I don't think it even comes with this little washer. I had to use the old one. Here we go. Okay. I've got to put this pin back in. Goes through the back side of the backing plate, up through the shoe. It's kind of a pain. If you had the tool, you'd already be done. That's me telling myself. Oops, nope, come on. Oh, I had it. You can do this.
If you had the tool, you'd already.
If I had the tool, I'd be done. I'd be eating a cheeseburger right now. Ding, got it. Beautiful. Just a little bit of black spray paint and a little bit of black undercoating in there. It's mainly just to protect it from rust. We're not trying to make a show car out of this thing. If we were, we'd handle this a lot differently. Just stick it back on there and we're done. On this car, because I put these big old fat tires on there, I got to jack up by the frame instead of jacking up under the rear end chunk. Oh, she moved a little bit. Anyways, gotta jack up under the frame because the tire won't come out the other way.
Don't we need to get the jack stand?
Here we go. Same routine as the front. Okay, one. And, oh, did you see that?
Yes, I was right
That
there.
was not good. Just about turned the jack over. Okay, let's not do that. Let's stay where you're at.
Should I hold it?
Huh? No,
Should
do
I?
not hold it. Don't be near it.
Oh, okay. Action.
All right, we fixed the jack situation. I think I'm about to find out. Nope. Now it's about to turn the jack stand off. What is going on here? Why is this thing even wanting to roll? That's the main question. There we go. For real this time, we got the jack issue fixed. Okay. Put your head right under the thing that was almost falling. Ouch. Hey, buddy.
Bye.
You should be able to fish this thing out pretty easily. There it is. Take our little doohickeys out. Get in there. Get in there. This is your home.
What's it scared of?
I don't know. It's scared of its home. It's kind of weird. There you go. You're in there now. You're in home. Just sit down and relax. Metal rod goes first. And it hooks on to the hook. Like that. Pump it up. Getting any pressure at all on the pedal?
Yeah.
Okay. Holding? All right. Did a little bit of work on this thing, worked on the brakes. Still got a little bit of an issue with the pedal. It feels like sometimes you push it, you got good brakes, sometimes the pedal goes a little too far, so it probably needs a master cylinder. I knew it probably needed one anyways, but I kind of wanted to cheap out and avoid it at all costs, but we're gonna have to put one on there. Otherwise, I'm hearing a squeak, and it sounds a lot like the chirping sound that a speedometer cable makes. So we'll probably unhook that and squirt a little bit of juice down in the cable and keep on tweaking on this thing. I also noticed a radiator leak, so I'm not sure what to do about that, if we can do something about it or if we have to put a new radiator in it. But otherwise, it's running and driving pretty good. This thing starts up amazingly. Like, it's crazy how good it starts up on a cold start. And added a little bit more transmission fluid, just stuff like that. Nothing real drastic, just kind of tweaking on this thing. I haven't touched the timing, I haven't touched the carburetor. So we're talking about something that hasn't been touched in well over 30 years. And it's just fine. I mean, it cranks up and runs good. I'm not noticing any kind of knock or any kind of noise like that as far as like detonation type sound. I mean, I couldn't be happier with how this thing performs. It's not a hot rod by any means, but it's not supposed to be. It's just a little 307. It is doing the job. So we're just taking a little back road tour to work out some of the bugs on this thing. Aside from some of the squeaks and things like that, this thing goes down the road nice and smooth and quiet. So I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so there it is, pretty much the finished product here. We're gonna switch out some different wheels, something that Kyle wants to put on there, and I'll put these back on the Corvette or whatever. But this thing's pretty much done. Listen to this thing run. I mean, it is just dead quiet. I might paint that for him so it don't look so crusty. Maybe cut that off so it's not a jagged edge. Pretty amazing old car. Sitting here running so quiet. Yeah, definitely got a radiator leak. Yeah, that's gonna have to be addressed. But yeah, this is it. I think aside from those few little things, a radiator fix, probably a master cylinder, and a new set of tires and wheels, this thing will be ready for pretty much everyday cruising. I mean, here you go, one more look inside. Absolutely beautiful. Doesn't get much better. Got my fire extinguisher back there just in case. So that's it. We're happy with this thing. It's finished. Ready to go home to Kyle. Ready for him to start putting some miles on it.